Horror movies, man. Horror movies. Or if you're from Jersey, horror. You want to go to a horror movie? I went to Days of the Dead Atlanta. I want to talk about it. I mean, whoo. What's good, my people? It's your boy Mess Hall. Now, normally we talk about reselling stuff. I have a show every Friday night called Live for No Reason. Check it out, 7:30 Eastern. Reselling is basically what I do the most. I am a chef. I do teach at a college as well. Professor Mess Hall in this piece. But today, I want to talk about my favorite thing, horror movies, man. Now, anytime the horror people roll into town, in this case it was Atlanta, Days of the Dead, I try to go. It's like a convention. Now, if you've never been to a convention, I want to try to break it down for you, let you know how it works, let you know the price you got to pay to rub elbows with those celebrities, and give you a brief history of horror movies, why I got so involved in them. And also, there's a reselling aspect to this show, so watch the whole thing. I'll give you some tips, because there are people there that are selling things. Merch, toys, things like that. The last day is a really good day to go, because I'll give you some hot deals on some toys. Plus, you get to talk to some people and see what they do, how they got into the business, and all that good stuff. So without further ado, that phrase has been played out. Let's get rolling. Let me give you a brief history. So I was 7 years old when I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. And ever since then, I've been hooked, man. I've been hooked. Freddy Krueger was my intro to the slasher movies. Now, horror movies, slasher movies, suspense thrillers are all kind of different subgenres, in my opinion. I'm all about slasher movies, okay? I want to see something sharp hacking off a body part. That's my kind of flick, all right? Now, obviously, everybody knows that Chucky is number one. He's number one. The original OG, original Child's Play remains my favorite horror movie of all time, starring my man Chuck here. Number one. Will always be number one in my heart. I got tons of Child's Play, Chucky merch, toys. I got it all. That's my dude. Now, I've never had the chance to meet Brad Dourif or Ed Gale. Now, Ed Gale is the body double for Chucky in the original Child's Play, which is why the movie looks so good, because it's an actual person running around and doing all the stuff instead of like CGI or what do you call it? Animatronics. You know what I'm getting at. Here's a trivia bomb for you. Did you know that Ed Gale, who played Chucky in the original Child's Play, also played Howard the Duck? Howard the Duck! I have had the chance to meet Robert Englund. Robert Englund's a very sophisticated type dude. And Robert Englund loves Robert Englund. Now, Freddy Krueger, he's up there. If I give you my top three right now, it would probably go Chucky, Jason, and Freddy. My top three slashers. But there's someone new that might be entering into the top three, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. Side note, I do have the Freddy Krueger released Vans. Will run you about $250 if you want a pair. Alright, so like I had mentioned earlier, Art the Clown from Terrifier. Now, Art the Clown has probably moved into my top three. He's a newer slasher villain. I fell in love with the first movie. All Hallows Eve even was a great movie. Terrifier 2 are like two of my favorite movies right now. So he might be bumping Freddy out the way in my top three. So it would go Chucky, Jason, and Art the Clown. Freddy might have to move down to that fourth spot. But let me tell you, when I found out Art the Clown, David Howard Thornton, the actor that plays Art the Clown, was going to be at Days of the Dead Atlanta, I had no choice. Your boy had to go. So let's talk about Days of the Dead Atlanta. How it went. Alright, so first off, let's talk about money. Alright, so it was $35 just to get in the door at Days of the Dead Atlanta. Now, they're running a special all military, retired, active duty, were getting in for free. So your boy's retired military, so I had to get past that $35 checkpoint, showed my military ID. I got in for free. Special bonus prize right there. Now here's how it works. If you go to a Comic-Con or any kind of convention where there's going to be celebrities, famous people there, if you want something signed, if you want to take a picture with them, it all comes at a cost. Now the cost really depends on how popular or famous that person is. Now most of them will do a combo for you. They'll sign something for you and take a picture for a combo deal. Now I've seen prices range anywhere from $25 up to like $85. So if you want to get a picture, $25. If you want something signed, $25. If you want a picture and something signed, they'll usually do like a $40 package deal for you. Now, most of them take cash. So you got to have some cash in your pocket if you're trying to get something signed or get a picture taken with one of these celebrities. Cash only. They don't take cards at these kind of events most of the time. Summary of how the money works. So my strategy walking into Days of the Dead Atlanta, I had three things that had to get done. Number one, I had to meet David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. I had to meet him. I was going to get my picture taken with him and wanted him to sign something from me. That was number one, gonna happen. So what I did is I had him sign my Mr. Bean Pop Funko. And the reason I had him sign my Mr. Bean is because he said Mr. Bean was one of his favorite actors and his inspiration to play this character, because this character doesn't talk. This character does all this mime stuff and talks with his hands and does these facial expressions. Mr. Bean is the perfect example of how to get that done. So I was a huge Mr. Bean fan as well growing up. It was one of my favorite shows of all time. So the fact that we had that in common, I figured I'd have him sign that, and it blew his mind when I presented it to him and said, hey, will you sign this? He was like, oh my God, how did you know? I said, hey, I read up, man. I do my research on people, okay? I don't just roll up to you with no background information. So he was cool. Got a picture taken with him. Awesome. Check the block. Number one was accomplished. Number two goal in life was to meet, talk to, and hang out with Kane Hodder. Now, Kane Hodder played Jason in Friday the 13th, one of my all-time favorite characters. And he was in Jason, I think 7, 8, 9, 10, Jason X. My favorite Jason of all the Friday the 13th movies. Great guy, man. I got to talk to him. We got to hang out for a minute. We talked movies. He was really personable, really engaged. The conversation wasn't going to be over until I decided it was going to be over. He would have talked to me as long as I wanted to talk to him. And I had him sign my Jason Pop Funko Friday the 13th joint. Really, really good dude. Thankfully, he was exactly how I expected him to be. Took the time. We hung out. Great guy. Now, caveat to that. I don't know if you know this chick, Piper, from Charmed. She tried to cut in front of your boy. She was like, excuse me, can I go talk to Kane real quick? And I recognized her. I couldn't really remember where I recognized her from. But lo and behold, it was Piper from Charmed, because that's what Kane told me. Of course, I let her cut in front of me. I ain't trying to get no spells put on me or nothing. And I'm a gentleman. So I said, go ahead, ma'am. You can go talk to him before I go talk to him. So Piper from Charmed, bro. Cut in front of your boy. I also got to meet and hang out with the director of Terrifier and Terrifier 2 and All Hallows Eve, Damien Leone. He signed my Terrifier 2 barf bag, which was great. Great dude, visionary. I mean, this dude gets it, man. He used to be a special effects person, so his effects are amazing. His movies are awesome. I mean, this guy's going to be big. Damien Leone, remember that name. I think he's working with Sam Raimi next. Great dude. Smiled, very personable. I became a big fan after talking with him as well. All right, so now that I had those three things out of the way, I walked around to see who else was there. There was all kinds of people there. The original I Dream of Jeannie was there. Nancy from the original Nightmare on Elm Street series was there. Kim Coates from Sons of Anarchy, I believe. If you ever seen that movie, Jeepers Creepers, the dude that plays the creeper, he was there. Daniel Roebuck was there. He plays Grandpa in the new Munsters movie on Netflix, if you've seen that. He's also been in a bunch of Rob Zombie movies. Speaking of Rob Zombie movies, Bill Moseley was there. Now, here's a little tip for you. You ain't got to pay money to talk to these people. So I got to talk to a lot of these people and didn't have to pay anything. If there's nothing going on in their little booth they have set up, if there's no line, there's no one waiting to get a picture or an autograph, just roll up there and start talking to them. Have a conversation. I did that with Bill Moseley. He offered me some cookies. He had some Chips Ahoy joints in a bag. I mean, I was nervous at first because you never know what's in a cookie Bill Moseley might have. But I ate some cookies with him. We chatted for a little bit. He was a great dude, very funny. Tom Arnold was there. You know Tom Arnold, Roseanne's ex-husband, True Lies Tom Arnold. He was there, talked to him for a couple minutes. Didn't realize how big his head was. I mean, like, not ego-wise, but like size-wise. Dude got a big melon. If you ever seen that movie Lost Boys, you know that sexy saxophone player that's in the beginning when we're at the beach at that party? He's like bumping and grinding with his saxophone. He used to be a saxophone player for Tina Turner. He was there, got to chat with him for a little bit. Awesome dude, man. He was awesome. Great dude to talk to. And last but not least, the person that probably had the longest line was Malcolm McDowell. Now, if you don't know that name, I mean, Malcolm McDowell's a legend. So he was in Clockwork Orange. If you haven't seen Clockwork Orange, it's a crazy movie. Malcolm McDowell was in that. He was also in the remake of Halloween, the Rob Zombie Halloweens. Malcolm McDowell was in those movies playing Dr. Loomis. Great, great actor, legendary. I didn't get a chance to chat with him. His line was way too long all day. I mean, he's a legend. I understand. People want to get up and close and personal with Malcolm McDowell. So now let's move into like the reselling hustle aspect of these conventions. So not only are there stars and celebrities around that you can chat with and talk to, there's also people that have booths set up where they're selling you stuff. The same thing like we would be doing. They have toys, they have posters, they have t-shirts. I copped this t-shirt when I was there. The old Chucky Child's Play 2 t-shirt. Buffalo Picker was there with me. He's out there hustling, you know, trying to get some last minute Sunday deals. You know, Buffalo Picker, man. I mean, that dude's always trying to hustle, find a deal. But it gives you a chance to talk to these people that resell toys. They resell merchandise. They resell things. Some people make their own stuff. They have their own brand. I was talking to one lady. She said, yeah, I started at one convention with a table this big. She's like, now, 7 years later, I'm going to 30 conventions a year. My booth has quadrupled in size. And she also has her merchandise available in like 15 different online stores. So, I mean, just the hustle is strong. And all these people trying to give you stuff and sell you stuff. So that's what I really, really like about these conventions. Gives me a chance to see how people started, where they get their stuff from, where they source from, how they inventory their stuff, what the travel schedule is like. Is it worth getting into? I mean, these people are all hustlers just like we are, just like resellers. They're finding things, they're going to these conventions and trying to resell them for profit. That's what they're there to do. They had all the cool horror toys, they had all the exclusive pops, they had all these different things that they had got their hands on and drove down and opened up a booth at this convention trying to make some money back. Now, that's a grind, it's a hustle, it's a different kind of genre, different atmosphere, and that's all these people do. They travel around the country going to all these different conventions trying to sell their stuff. The same way you would do like a sneaker con or a Comic Con or anything that has stuff available for sale. There's people behind that stuff that's available for sale. So that's very inspiring to me. I got a chance to talk to these people that just hustle and grind, and this is all they do. Their travel schedule is insane. The one lady I talked to said, I'm packing up tonight and I'm going to Vegas for next weekend's show. I mean, it's very inspiring. These people are out there grinding, trying to get it, and that was one of the best parts about this. I was also able to pick up a couple other things. Like I said, I got all The Horror Kids Art the Clown exclusive cards. I already got them, my protective sealed joints. I highly recommend, if you've never been to a Comic Con, a sneaker con, a horror con, any kind of convention, make sure you take the trip, if not just to talk to people. A lot of people are down to like give you the business inside tip of how they started, the avenues they took, what they're up to now, what their schedule is like, how much they invested in the business. They're down to tell you all about what they do. So if that's something that interests you, definitely go check it out. Go rub elbows with some celebrities, and then go try to get some business information on the other side. It's your boy Mess Hall. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Yo!